What if you could build a really powerful AI that was 100% private, couldn't lie to you, and was an expert on your specific data? Well, in this explainer, we're going to build that exact system, running entirely on your own machine. No cloud, no third parties, just you and your very own AI. Let's get into it. So, you might be wondering, why go through the trouble? Well, if you've ever used a cloud-based AI, you know the two big pitfalls. First, you've got hallucinations, when the AI just confidently makes stuff up. And second, there's that kind of uncomfortable question of what's happening to your private data after you send it off to some third-party server. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. With cloud AI, your data is out of your hands. The model's knowledge is probably outdated, and you're stuck with one vendor. The alternative we're building today is a local system, using a technique called RAG. That's for Retrieval Augmented Generation. With RAG, everything is completely private. It can even work offline, and it gives you answers that are grounded only in the documents you give it. It's always up to date with your info, and you have total control. So here's our roadmap. It's pretty straightforward. We'll start with the why this is so powerful. Then we're going to break down the tech stack we're using. From there, it's a super simple one-command install, and then I'll show you how to feed your AI new knowledge, and of course, the most important part, how to get answers you can actually trust. All right, first up, why bother building a private AI in the first place? Well, this is all about creating a huge strategic advantage for yourself, your very own expert on any topic you want. The benefits here are massive. First, data sovereignty. This just means your sensitive files, your research, your internal docs, they never, ever leave your machine. Period. You also have total control over the knowledge base and the AI models themselves. This is what transforms a generic jack-of-all-trades AI into a super accurate, fact-based expert on your stuff. And because you're not paying for some external API every time you ask a question, it is incredibly cost-efficient. Okay, next, let's pop the hood and see what's going on inside. In Section 2, we're going to break down the blueprint for our private AI system and see what each piece of the puzzle actually does. So, the secret sauce that makes this all possible is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like an open book test for the AI. Before it even tries to answer your question, it first has to retrieve the relevant facts from your documents. This grounds the AI in reality, and that's what basically eliminates those pesky hallucinations. Our stack has 4 key players. First, you've got Ollama. Think of this as the engine. It's what actually runs the language models. Then there's WebUI. This is your dashboard, your cockpit for chatting with the AI. Third is Timescale-DB, which we're using as a vector database. This is the AI's long-term memory, where all the knowledge from your documents gets stored. And finally, there's a little tool called MCPO. It acts as a proxy, a critical connector that lets our friendly WebUI talk to our custom-built RAG tool. And here is how it all fits together. You type a question into the open WebUI. That request goes through the MPO proxy to our RAG server, which then dives into Timescale-DB to find the relevant facts. Those facts get handed over to the Ollama model as context, which then generates an answer that's grounded in your data. It is a completely private, closed loop, all running right there on your local machine. Okay, now for the really fun part. Section 3, the one-command installation. We're going to bring this entire system to life using Docker, and trust me, it is way simpler than you might think. Before we hit go, there are just a couple of quick one-time things you need to have set up. You'll need Docker Desktop, which is what lets us run all these different pieces of software in their own little boxes, and you'll need a recent version of Python. After that, a single line in your terminal will install all the little Python packages we need to get everything talking to each other. This is it. This is the magic command. Once you have a simple configuration file, this single line, docker compose up-d, tells Docker to go out, download, configure, and launch the entire stack for you. That's Ollama, OpenWebUI, and Timescale-DB, all starting up and running in perfect harmony. It's amazing. And just like that, it's done. You can now open up your web browser, go to localhost on port 3000, and you will be greeted by your brand new, fully functional private AI interface. It is ready to go. Okay, so our system is alive, but right now it's basically an empty brain. So now it's time for the most important step, feeding it. Section 4 is all about the daily workflow for adding your documents so the AI can actually learn from them. The process for adding new knowledge is designed to be super simple and repeatable. You just copy your new documents, PDFs, text files, whatever you've got, into a special source folder. Then you run one simple script from your terminal, and that is it. The knowledge is immediately available for your AI to use. So what's actually happening when you run that script? Well, behind the scenes, it's taking your documents, breaking them up into small, manageable chunks, and then using a model to create a numerical representation of each chunk's meaning. This is called an embedding. These numbers are then stored in our Timescale-DB vector database, which allows the system to search for concepts and ideas, not just keywords. It's very cool. And finally, we have reached the payoff. Section 5, Querying with Confidence. Let's see how to actually use this thing to get factual, citation-backed answers directly from our own data. Inside the Open WebUI, the key is to create a custom model profile. Now, see that little Tools section? This is where the magic happens. This is where you connect the AI to our RAG server. By enabling this tool, you're basically giving the model a new superpower, the ability to search your private knowledge base before it answers. Now, this connection is just a one-time setup. You just go into the admin settings for external tools and add the URL for our MC Pro proxy server. That special address, host.docker.internal, is a little networking trick that allows the Open WebUI container to talk to the process running on your main machine. Once you save this, that tool becomes available to all of your models. Now, how you ask your questions matters a lot. If you ask a vague, lazy question, you're going to get a vague, lazy answer. But a specific, hard-grounding prompt like this one forces the AI to act like a research assistant. Notice how it commands the model to quote the exact passages, summarize them, and most importantly, cite the document. And this brings us to the final result, which is a real game changer. You now get answers based only on your documents with direct citations so you can easily verify the source. If the answer isn't in your knowledge base, the AI just says so. It doesn't make stuff up. No more hallucinations. And all of this happens with zero, and I mean zero, data exposure to the outside world. So why does all this matter? Because you've done more than just install some cool software. You've built a true AI expert, an assistant that knows exactly what you know, is always available, and operates completely under your control, on your terms. This technology really puts an incredible amount of power in your hands. You can create an expert on your company's internal knowledge base, your personal research library, or a 1,000-page technical manual. So the only question left is, what are you going to teach your AI first?